Now to the US election. It is anyone's game, but this week Kamala Harris stumbled. Her buddies at CNN took her to task at a town hall event, and she bumbled and blustered her way through the event with more gaffes and awkward moments than we have time to show. But of course, we have to show you our favourite moment.
Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on this? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything. I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
Well done to Anderson Cooper for pressing Harris. We love to see it. Let's bring the panel back in to discuss. I mean, Darren, that was some brilliant television. A few reasons why I think that is going to be really damaging. First, just on its surface, just logically, she starts off inferring that there is a stupidity around that policy. After a minute and 30 of talking to Anderson Cooper, she's saying it's a great idea, we're actually doing it, and Donald Trump didn't do enough of it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I think the more voters see of her, the more her momentum in the polls seems to be slipping away. She refuses to identify how she would do things differently to the Biden administration, of which she was obviously a key member, and she refuses to acknowledge or identify any problems at the same time. And having watched that town hall this morning, today, the viewers were all but begging her to come out and state positions, and she was completely unable to do it. And her response is just absolutely baffling. And I think Trump just needs to stay the course and hope that she keeps doing these town halls. And I think the thing about the CNN town hall is, unlike the Fox News one, which you kind of a lot of those viewers are with Trump. There's a lot of undecided voters watching that CNN debate who would have been very unimpressed by her performance.
Yes, Steve, and Darren makes such a good point. CNN, there would be a lot of moderates there. More so probably that were tuning into the Fox interview, that probably watched the Fox interview thinking, well, that was always going to be combative. She's almost on home soil here, really. She's playing a home game and she's getting smashed by her own side.
Yeah, but Jack, I think that's the point, is that an American election is not necessarily about getting people from the other side to vote for you. It's getting your own people to turn out and vote. And that's where I think she's losing it here with CNN. But it also highlights how poor American politicians are at their handling of the media. I mean, here in Australia, we have access to our politicians on an almost daily basis, and they have to polish their skills because they're going head-to-head with us every day. In the US, they don't have that same access, and they're not very good at it. But then you take, on top of that, layer over the top of that Kamala Harris and her word salad and her inability to articulate almost anything. Look, it's working against her. If I was her, I'd stop doing these town halls because it's not winning her any votes. But I mean, fair dinkum, did anybody understand what she just said then?
Yeah, it was contradictory. It said one thing, and then by the end of it, she'd completely flipped. You're right, though, Stephen, because people like J.D. Vance, I mean, he's at press conferences getting smashed every day, and that toughens you, it hardens you, it makes you a better operator.
Yeah, I mean, it's just word salad city all the time with her. And it seems like the Democrats have decided the only play left for them is to demonise him. We've had these kind of weird Hitler comparisons this week. Didn't work in 2016.
I mean, isn't that the most reprehensible thing you can do? I'm losing, so I'm going to call my political opponent Hitler. It's just so reprehensible, such grubby politics.